Hey everyone, I wanted to do a kind of review and kind of some takeaways I got from a documentary I saw recently. I wanted to do it recently before because sometimes I read a book or listen to an audiobook or something, and then it kind of forget about it and stuff, and I kind of and then it's kind of like I kind of have to like reread it or watch it again. So, anyways, the documentary is "Don't Die: The Man Who Wants to Live Forever." It's mainly stars Bryan Johnson, and it's produced by, I believe, a few pretty reputable reporters and stuff. It does go into his like family life, and it touches on that some, which I think is interesting. Overall, I think it's a good documentary. I don't agree with everything he does. It reminds me some of some other people I follow, like kind of like Timothy Ferriss and Dave Asprey. Dave Asprey more so in that they're like kind of wealthy, but also like have been kind of obsessed with their health and also have had health problems. Bryan Johnson, I want to say, didn't have as severe. He did come to a point where he was kind of just depressed, fed up with his life, and to be honest, this was after he kind of was an entrepreneur and made a lot of money and ended up selling his company. And then he kind of, his current project is kind of Blueprint, or like Don't Die, and it feels like it's really like kind of changed his life, and he's turned his life around, because you look at like videos and pictures of him fast, and I wouldn't say he wasn't quite obese, but he was definitely overweight by quite a bit, probably at least 30 or 40 pounds, and you could tell he was kind of miserable, and he was dealing with depression, and he really started to question his life, his lifestyle, his religion, because he grew up and he got married into the Mormon church, which I have nothing against organized religion. I'm not really super religious. I'm more spiritual, and I keep an open mind. But it's interesting, the path he took, and all the stuff he does. I think he does take things a bit too far, like, with the supplements and other stuff. I've heard he's taken like some other stuff that was kind of like fucked up with his health, and he does at one point like go to it's like a gene therapy thing, to not only for anti-aging, but it's also supposedly helps with like muscle growth and stuff like that. He even helps out his dad at one point. It talks about his dad and his relationship with his dad, and that he like kind of fell out of the church too, and that out of his kids, only one of his kids, since he left the church and kind of got divorced and also sold his company, is the only one that he's really in contact with. He's not really in contact with his ex-wife and his other kids. Yeah, I think that's like really important, is like really for like good health, and overall is having like good community, not only like family but friends. I would say even like depending on the work you do and the job and business, like that's good too, because he was talking about how he always was he's really smart and entrepreneurial and stuff, but he got to a point where it was just consuming his life, especially having three kids, and he was working all the time, like he was barely getting any sleep, and he was just kind of numbing himself with kind of it seems like food for the most part, like he would just eat junk and all kinds of stuff. And he kind of grew up kind of I'm gonna say kind of chubby, which I can relate with. I do like some of it. They do bring on some critics, like various doctors and researchers and stuff like that, and asking about like quantifying it and other stuff. And I do think he is trying to help other people, but he's trying to help himself, and it's also a business too, so he's trying to make money. There's no doubt about that. I don't agree with kind of the diet stuff as well too. I know he kind of teamed up with various kind of people, but there was one that was like an anti-aging like expert and doctor, and I don't know if it was from him or kind of like anti-aging he's more embraced veganism and stuff like that. I have nothing against vegan or vegetarianism. I think it has its merits. I think it might be good for some people. I don't think it's for everyone. I don't think it's like the cure-all. Kind of the same way that I now kind of think of paleo, although I'm still kind of more for like kind of a paleo or paleo template diet, is kind of like a template of what to kind of like eat and stuff, like, and go from there. I think there are some benefits like nutrients and stuff from plants, but there's also anti-nutrients. There's phytates, there's oxalates, and other stuff like that. And not to say that animal protein is easy to break down, like you have to have enough stomach acid and digestive enzymes, but that kind of goes the same with plant-based and plant foods as well too. I like to use kind of a combination of both, kind of superfoods if possible. It's interesting, kind of the takeaways I got, especially like how, how he had all this money and he has like 400, like I think when he sold his company it was like 400 million. So his net worth is, I want to say, still around 400 million. But it wasn't really making him healthy. It wasn't like he wasn't going about it in like a healthy way. And he is pretty regimented about his diet. I think he fasts for a certain amount of time every day, and he eats kind of the same foods and stuff like that. And some of the recipes, they are decent, like nothing against them. I've looked at some of his products. I don't know if I would use them personally. I think some of them are a little bit overpriced, like the extra virgin olive oil and stuff. There might be some stuff down the road. It's the same thing with like Dave Asprey. Some of the stuff, although he isn't involved with Bulletproof and he has his other companies and stuff he does, is some of that stuff I think is a little bit on the pricey end as well too. Yeah, I think it's worth checking out. It's definitely a good movie. It's or documentary. It's definitely relatable, especially with kind of the stuff he's been through. Especially, he's always had difficulty like finding connection and friendship and like relationships, and he does go on about that. But I think through this brand he's created and this community he's created, he's really like found like his calling or his community and stuff like that. And it is like, at the end of the day, it's like he's trying to make money, and he has a pretty big social media following. I don't agree with like everything he kind of says does. I don't want to go into like the Taryn Southern thing, because I'm not quite sure what really happened. It seems like she not quite like an Amber Heard Johnny Depp situation, but it kind of reminds me of that. And I used to be a fan of her back in the day, because I know she's like a YouTuber and influencer and stuff. But yeah, I would say the big takeaways are, really, I think it's worthwhile to like kind of take your own health in your own hands and try and quantify it, and like if you can, like with lab tests and like keeping records and stuff like that, and being accountable about it and stuff. But I do think, which I do at times, like obsess or over obsess about my health, and like especially when it comes to supplements. I don't think people really need to take that many supplements. I think you can get it through, like, that's why I tend to try to recommend, especially like compounded, like ones that have like multivitamins and stuff that has multiple nutrients and stuff in it. Not just stuff that has like maybe one or two or three, but also like doing superfoods, both animal and plant-based. You can get quite a bit of nutrition and stuff like that. And there's other ways of kind of like getting all the nutrients and stuff you need. But yeah, but also like, that health is really like important. It's really like, and I think especially in Western society, there's kind of an emphasis on kind of the self, which is, and the individual, which is good to some degree, but also kind of making money and stuff like that. There's hustle culture and other stuff, which I think to some degree is healthy, but also some degree is unhealthy, and it's toxic and stuff like that. And I can go on about kind of how toxic work environments and stuff, because I've been in some, and I've been around some and stuff like that, and how that affects health. And I really think it's like kind of a good thing he's doing. He is an entrepreneur, and it does have a business lens, so he's trying to make money, but I think he's also trying to show simple things that people can do to improve their health and their life. And that health is really, which I've done an episode on this, is health is really important. It's like foundational for a lot of other things when you're struggling, and I've been there. It really affects everything else. It affects kind of your relationships. I think it affects your ability to make money, connect with people, other stuff, and really like having good physical and mental health is like really, and I would say even spiritual health. Um, you know, and I think a lot of people just kind of toss that aside, or think like, oh, everyone has health problems, or everyone has problems, which they do, but health is really foundational to, like, I think like having a good, fruitful life. Even I think like the Stoic, which I've been reading some and listening to some audiobooks, like Stoicism and stuff, Stoicism, like Marcus Aurelius talks about like having good health and stuff like that, and he actually overcame a lot of health stuff during his own life. Anyways, check it out. It's on Netflix. It's not a super long. Let me see, how long is it? It's like let me see, how long is it? It's I think it's only. I want to say, yeah, it's only like an hour and a half, so it's not too long of a documentary, really. But definitely worth checking out, and definitely will help him get some insights. And I've actually been listening to his YouTube channel and stuff, and he does have some interesting stuff on it. Like I think it's definitely worth to check out some of the content. I haven't really seen many of his like interviews or appearances on podcasts and stuff like that, but yeah, check it out. And if you need help with your health, or any kind of collaboration, I actually have my first kind of sponsor as well. I'll include it in the links, but Fungies, it's a functional medicine, functional mushrooms, but it's in the form of like gummies and drink mixes, and tinctures, and they're high quality, natural, fairly low sugar as well too. I don't think it's sugar free, but it's good quality, and they're also like priced, I think, pretty well as well too. And if you use Psynautical, you even get a discount. So there's that. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. And if you're on YouTube or whatever, feel free to subscribe, rate, review. If there's anything you'd like me to cover, if you need help with your health, I'm flexible and affordable. And the first session is free as well too. If you just need maybe some help with your health getting started, and like maybe a general direction of stuff of where to go, because I've been doing a lot of my own research and kind of guinea pigging, kind of like Bryan Johnson, and trying different stuff out, like different peptides and other stuff, and with my own stuff. And so I'm gonna possibly do some content and episodes about that. But yeah, see you all later.